A warm welcome to you all. Sometimes the most pressure-filled moments in life are also the most clarifying. Today, we're going to dive into a powerful section of the Quran that basically acts like a spiritual stress test. It was revealed during this incredibly tough time for the early Muslim community, a moment that really sorted out who had genuine, deep-rooted faith and who was maybe just going through the motions. It's a timeless look at what real commitment is all about when the going gets tough. And that's really the question at the heart of it all, isn't it? When a real sacrifice is asked of you, something that's not easy, not convenient at all, how do you respond? And more importantly, what does your response say about what you truly believe deep down? This ancient text goes right to the core of that very question. So, to really get what's going on, you have to know the backstory. The community is called to a very long, very difficult journey known as the expedition to Tabuk. Now, this wasn't just any old trip. It was tough. Resources were scarce. The distance was huge. It was a high-stakes test designed to see who was truly on board and who was just, paying lip service. It was the ultimate filter for separating words from actions. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to start by looking at the group that hesitated. And honestly, the text gives us a masterclass in dissecting the anatomy of an excuse. It really pulls back the curtain on the mindset of those the Quran calls the hypocrites. Here it is, laid bare. This is their entire thought process. It all comes down to a simple cost-benefit analysis. If the reward was right there, easy to grab, and the effort was minimal, oh yeah, they'd be first in line. But because the journey was long and the sacrifice was real, they hit the brakes. You see, their commitment was totally conditional. The text basically gives this mindset a name, and it is brilliant. Convenience faith. It's a faith that's strong when it's easy, when it fits right in with your own self-interest. But the second it demands a real price, it disappears. It's belief without sacrifice, and the text is about to show us exactly why that's such a huge problem. And get this is how they try to cover their tracks. They use the language of faith, swearing an oath to God to make their excuse sound really pious and legitimate. But the text is crystal clear. These are just empty words. It's pointed out that this isn't just bad PR. It's a form of spiritual self-destruction. They are, in a very real way, destroying themselves with their own words. And here, the text gives us a simple, incredibly practical way to see right through them. It says, look, if they had really wanted to go, they would have done something to get ready, right? They would have packed their supplies, prepared their camels, but they did nothing. Their complete lack of action just screams louder than their words ever could. It's a timeless lesson. Real intention always shows up as preparation. So the text has analyzed their words, it's analyzed their actions, or lack thereof, but it doesn't stop at the surface. Now it goes even deeper, giving us a spiritual diagnosis of what's really happening on the inside, in their hearts. So here's the internal profile. The root of everything is doubt. Because their hearts are shaky, they hesitate. They're motivated by a fear of hardship, not by faith in the mission. And then there's this last part, which is just fascinating. The text points out their emotional opportunism. They actually get upset when the community does well, and they secretly feel happy when it faces a setback. Their entire emotional compass is broken. It's completely out of sync with the group they claim to belong to. Now, this leads to a really stunning and incredibly practical conclusion. The text says it was actually a good thing that these individuals stayed behind. Had they gone, they would have just spread negativity, confusion, and doubt among the ranks. It's called an operational security insight, a powerful reminder that not everyone who says they're on your team is actually making you stronger. Sometimes addition by subtraction is the smartest move. And this inner state, this doubt and fear, it has real consequences. The text spells out how it leads to 3 core spiritual problems that basically make their good deeds like prayer or giving charity spiritually empty and ultimately not accepted. There's a fundamental lack of belief, their worship is just lazy and mechanical, and any charity they give is done grudgingly. Their inner reality just poisons their outward actions. Okay, but that's only half the picture, because the text then builds this powerful contrast by showing us the complete opposite, the mindset and the behavior of the sincere believers. It's a totally different spiritual posture. This right here is the believer's creed. It's a declaration of absolute, profound trust. While the other group is paralyzed by fear of what might go wrong, the believer is anchored. They're anchored in the conviction that whatever happens is from God and that God is their ultimate protector. It's the perfect antidote to all that anxiety and hesitation. And this inner state of trust, it leads to a completely different kind of action, They don't go looking for loopholes. They don't ask for an exemption. No, the moment the call comes, they step forward, eagerly offering up their resources and themselves for the cause. Their commitment is proactive, not reactive. So when you put them side by side like this, the two mindsets laid out in the text become crystal clear. I mean, it's like night and day. In every single category, they are polar opposites. One responds to hardship with excuses, the other with action. One is driven by fear, the other by trust. One gives reluctantly, the other gives with their whole heart. It's a complete clash of worldviews. So where does all of this leave us? Well, the text doesn't just diagnose the problem and show us the contrast. It offers a final judgment and, most importantly, a powerful remedy. Now, this is such a fascinating twist. The text warns the believers, hey, don't be impressed by the wealth and status of those who stayed behind. It suggests that all that worldly success might actually be a hidden test for them, a sort of punishment that just digs them deeper into their disbelief if they don't change their ways. It's a powerful reminder that what looks like success on the outside isn't always spiritual success on the inside. And finally, here it is, the cure, the path forward. It's a simple but incredibly profound declaration of contentment and trust. It's a call to shift focus from what you fear you might lose to what God can give. To be able to say, Allah is enough for us, and to truly feel that in your bones. This is the remedy. Stop calculating, stop performing, and start trusting. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. The cure prescribed in this text is contentment and a deep reliance on a higher purpose. But what does that really look like today? In a world that is constantly screaming at us to want more, to achieve more, to rely only on ourselves. It's a powerful question this ancient text leaves echoing in our very modern minds.